Good morning and welcome back into our kitchen on Tuesday the 20th of October. And the psalm we come to this morning, Psalm 90, really brings us full circle, because when we started these morning reflections going right back to the 30th of March, that's the day we began, and it was only going to be for 2 weeks, and then we just found ourselves we kept going, and I know that we've formed something of a community of those who've joined us regularly and others who've just dropped in from time to time from around the diocese and beyond. And the reading pattern that we use is a pattern in which we read through the Psalms twice through the year, and then some of the other wisdom writings in the Old Testament. And when we started on the 30th of March, we were already in Psalm 89. Today, we reach Psalm 90 again. So we go into the second part of the reading through the Psalms through the year. So we're going to read the Psalm. Thank you for joining us through this time, and if you're joining us for the very first time today, then you can follow it through with us.
So we're looking at Psalm 90, and when we looked at Kidner's commentary on this psalm, he says that only Isaiah 40 can compare with this psalm, and it describes God's grandeur and eternity compared with our smallness and frailty. And it's worth having a look back at Psalm 40, because it is a beautiful psalm. And
it sort of puts life in perspective, doesn't it? And the contrast of that. And
yes.
It's also the only psalm attributed solely to Moses in the Psalter, and it's as well inspired some of the great hymns that some of us will know and love, including the hymn, "O God, our help in ages past." But we're not going to sing that this morning. We're going to read the psalm and do follow it through.
Yes, I think I said Psalm 40 actually, rather than Isaiah 40. So it's Isaiah 40. So
Isaiah 40. I think you said Isaiah.
I did, and then I said Psalm.
Anyway, okay, right.
So it's Isaiah 40, but we're starting at verse 1, Psalm 90. Lord, you have been our dwelling place throughout all generations. Before the mountains were born, or you brought forth the whole world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God. You turn people back to dust, saying, return to dust, you mortals. 1,000 years in your sight are like a day that's just gone by, or like a watch in the night. Yet you sweep away people in the sleep of death. They're like the new grass of the morning. In the morning it springs up new, but by evening it is dry and withered. We are consumed by your anger and terrified by your indignation. You've set our iniquities before you, our secret sins in the light of your presence.
All our days pass away under your wrath. We finish our years with a moan. Our days may come to 70 years or 80 if our strength endures. Yet the best of them are but trouble and sorrow, for they quickly pass and we fly away. If only we knew the power of your anger. Your wrath is as great as the fear that is your due. Teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Relent, Lord, how long will it be? Have compassion on your servants. Satisfy us in the morning with your unfailing love, that we may sing for joy and be glad all our days. Make us glad for as many days as you have afflicted us, for as many years as we have seen trouble. May your deeds be shown to your servants, your splendour to their children. May the favour of the Lord our God rest on us. Establish the work of our hands. Yes, establish the work of our hands.
I'd just like to go back to verse 12, which says, teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. And it just made us think that we learn afresh how to go back to God. And in the past 6 months, it's been very uncertain and difficult times. We've learned so much to take each day as it comes, each day at a time, whether our days are filled with good things or lots of concerns. We just know that God's love is faithful, and it's never wavering. So that was a verse that I just don't know, hold on to, and to number our days, to take each day and know the Lord walks with us through that day.
And it's really interesting. We were thinking about that last night and reflecting on how much has happened in our world, Just what an extraordinary journey that we've been through since we started reading through the Psalms through Start the Day. And also people that we know and care for and we've been praying for who've been through some really challenging times. And some who have been through real grief over the last months, having lost loved ones. And again, just recognising the precious gift of each day and wanting to receive that day as God gives it to us, whatever challenges it may hold. And with that in mind, I just love the way it moves on into verse 14. Satisfy us in the morning with your unfailing love, that we may sing for joy and be glad all our days. And the recognition that what enables us to number our days aright and not be overwhelmed by a mountain of trouble that we may be facing is the reality that God's love, his gracious love, satisfies us in the morning. He will be there at the start of a new day, whatever it may hold. And that gives us the confidence in him that we can sing for joy. We can give our thanks to him. So with that in mind, we're going to turn to prayer. Gracious God, we thank you for these past weeks as we've joined with others around the diocese and even those who've joined us from other parts of the country and around the world these past weeks. And we just want to thank you for the gift of the Psalms, how they give us prayers to pray in good times and in really difficult times. And we thank you for this psalm that speaks to us of your grandeur and of your power, but also of our frailty. And yet in the gift of each day that you give to us, and of your love that alone can satisfy us. And we just pray today that we'll have that confidence in your love, whatever we may be facing. Would you bless particularly those who are struggling with a mountain of trouble that they're facing for whatever reason today. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you for joining us, and whatever you're doing through today, may you know God's blessing.